He can wrestle. He's got very good jiu-jitsu. He hits hard, and he's a big, durable dude. But I don't know if he's going to be able to wrestle with that guy.
It's hard to predict something, but I think Dricus is more solid. He can resist the very first rush from Chimaev, gourmet chain, and then we never know after the third round how Chimaev can, if he can sustain his energy after the third round. So I think this is my question.
Israel Adesanya has stirred the pot once again, this time with his take on one of the most talked about matchups on the horizon. The former middleweight king shared his prediction for the upcoming title clash between Dricus Du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev, set to headline UFC 319. And it's already got fans and fighters alike buzzing.
Khamzat with DDP would be next.
How do you see that fight? DDP, like the last skip by now at 185 pounds, it's different, man. When he beat Robert Whittaker, I'm like, I'm never going to count this dude out again. He does the craziest shit.
He's just stubborn. It's even funny to watch. I give him all the respect. He's so good at what he does. I've said, what did I say before? Like, he's the best fighter in the world. Can't wait till I fight again just because there's some things I want to...
Adesanya broke down the fight with sharp insight, saying that if Dricus Du Plessis is going to get the win, it'll come in the later rounds, where his grit, durability, and cardio can take over. On the other hand, he believes Khamzat Chimaev's best shot is early. If Chimaev gets it done, it'll likely be in the first 2 rounds, using that signature blitz of pressure and power. Adesanya even compared the clash to chaotic good versus chaotic evil, a dramatic meeting of 2 very different forces. He clearly respects both men, but emphasized just how crucial those opening rounds will be in deciding who walks away with the belt.
Khamzat would, I think Khamzat will, if he wins, it's the first 2 rounds. Or the first round. But Dricus is just chaotic. Chaotic good, chaotic evil. That's literally what this fight might be. Chaotic good versus chaotic evil.
Plenty of big names in the MMA world have shared their take on this highly anticipated matchup, and one of the most notable is former middleweight champion Luke Rockhold. Known for speaking his mind, Rockhold gave a straightforward assessment of Chimaev, calling him an absolute beast and highlighting the non-stop pressure that has made him so dangerous. He pointed out that Chimaev's relentless aggression is his biggest weapon, but also raised the key question: can Du Plessis survive that early storm and drag the fight into deeper waters?
By the way, how is Khamzat looking leading into this UFC 319 fight? Like, we had some questions around him even making it into the country. Is he looking sharp going into this DDP fight from what you've seen in the gym?
I mean, I don't go watch it. I don't go watch it every training session, but he's, Khamzat, you know what he's gonna do. He's a fucking beast. He's a wrestler. He's a grappler. He's gonna get relentless pressure. He's gonna start fast and hard. And can Dricus take that? Can he take that first round, that first 2 rounds? I mean, that's what life is about for his fight, his opponents. Can they withstand the barrage? Because he's gonna bring it.
Do you reckon Khamzat will be able to handle DDP later on in the fight if he can survive?
I don't like those opportunities for him. I've trained with DDP a lot. He's tough. He ain't gonna go away. You gotta dominate him. You gotta finish him. I mean, you gotta dominate him from start to finish, or you gotta finish him early. I mean, and I just don't see how Khamzat's gonna keep that pressure. That his intensity you can only keep that for so long. That's not 5-round material.
At the same time, UFC Hall of Famer Michael Bisping hasn't held back on his own breakdown of the matchup. Interestingly, Bisping shares some common ground with Luke Rockhold, especially when it comes to how dangerous Du Plessis could be. He was surprised to see Du Plessis enter the fight as an underdog, given the South African's well-rounded skill set. Bisping highlighted Du Plessis' strong wrestling base, solid cardio, and proven ability to go 5 hard rounds. On the flip side, he pointed out that Chimaev has looked more human when fights go the distance, citing his close decision wins over Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman, where the early finish never came.
Anyway, since he's come up to 185, Khamzat Chimaev is looking great, okay? But I'm just saying, against Dricus Du Plessis, this guy's not easy to fight, okay? People talk about this herky-jerky offbeat rhythm, and he does have kind of a unique style. But you cannot say that this is not effective. And yeah, Khamzat beat Robert Whittaker. So did Dricus Du Plessis. Dropped him with a jab in the second round and followed up with a beautiful combination. Out of the 23 wins that Dricus Du Plessis has, he's finished 20 of.
Bisping raised an interesting concern. What makes Chimaev so dangerous might also be his biggest vulnerability. He pointed out that while Chimaev's relentless pace overwhelms most opponents early, it could backfire if he doesn't secure a quick finish. If the fight drags into the championship rounds, Bisping believes Du Plessis could flip the script. He emphasized that Chimaev's fan-favorite aggressive style can come at a cost, especially if fatigue sets in. And if that happens, Du Plessis has the tools to shift the momentum and take over when it matters most.
That they've got Dricus Du Plessis as the underdog is insane. The man can wrestle, he's got great jiu-jitsu, he's big for the weight class, and more importantly, he has a gas tank. He has had no problems going 5 rounds. The 2 times Khamzat went to a decision was when he couldn't get the finish in the first or second round, and that's when Gilbert Burns started to take over. That's when Kamaru Usman had a lot of success and settled the score, and it almost came out as a draw. And now it's not 3 rounds, it's 5 rounds. And the way that Khamzat Chimaev fights is the way that he fights. He ain't gonna change. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. When you lose fights, you say, well, I never really lost. It was a chance to learn. And that is true. When you do lose, you address some things. You address your preparation. You address your weight cut. You address your diet. You address all kinds of shit that you might have been doing wrong. And one of those things might be that I address the fact that I don't pace myself. As I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's gonna go full steam ahead. Khamzat Chimaev's gonna go right at him. He ain't gonna fuck about. He's gonna swing for the fence. He's gonna pick him up. He's gonna try and slam him down. He's gonna go berserk. He's gonna go mental. And that's what we love about him. And that's why we can't wait to see this fight. But if he doesn't get him out of there in the first round or the second round, and he's starting to gas come round 3, and round 4 and round 5, he is looking to be anywhere else but in the middle of the octagon in the United Center, right? Dricus Du Plessis is going to take over. And that man is a big, powerful son of a bitch. And he is a finisher.
Robert Whittaker, having faced both Du Plessis and Chimaev, offered a more measured take on the matchup. He didn't commit to a clear prediction, but did hint at a slight edge for Du Plessis, especially if the fight goes deep. Whittaker pointed out that while Chimaev is incredibly dangerous early on, his performances tend to dip in longer fights. In contrast, Du Plessis thrives the longer the bout lasts. From Whittaker's perspective, if Du Plessis can survive the early onslaught, he's got a strong chance of turning the tide and securing the win.
Happened in August, Dricus versus Khamzat. What do you think is going to happen, and who do you think is going to get their hands raised in middleweight?
It's tricky. I think the favourite would have to be Dricus, just because, I think the favourite would have to be Dricus. The only things I can really say with any sort of certainty is that Chimaev will get Dricus to the mat. But if Chimaev doesn't finish Dricus there, I find it hard for him to win. I think the longer the fight goes, Dricus is more favourable.
Whittaker acknowledged that Chimaev's wrestling could create real problems for Du Plessis, particularly in the opening rounds. But in his eyes, Chimaev's explosive style has its limits. If the fight stretches into the later rounds, Whittaker believes the momentum could shift. With Du Plessis' proven endurance, grit, and ability to weather storms, Whittaker sees him as the one more likely to take over as the pace slows and the pressure builds.
Chimaev has outstanding first-round finishes, but, every fight that's gone the distance has been close.
With the fight drawing near, the pressure on both sides is building, and opinions are flying. UFC's own Shera Magomedov didn't hold back in his assessment, issuing a stark warning about Chimaev's threat level. Known for his outspoken takes, Magomedov kept it blunt. While Du Plessis has shown promise, Chimaev's non-stop aggression and intensity make him a dangerous opponent. Though less analytical than others, his remarks reflect a growing sentiment among fighters that Chimaev may be walking in with the upper hand.
As I said before, Dricus is in very good, strong hands in this fight, and we'll make sure to remember his name with 2 seconds of silence afterward.
Another voice joining the conversation is none other than UFC icon Khabib Nurmagomedov. With years of experience guiding fighters through high-stakes moments, Khabib offered a measured perspective on Chimaev's approach. He acknowledged Chimaev's trademark pressure but cautioned that it could backfire if not managed properly. Khabib highlighted the fact that Chimaev has yet to enter the deep waters of championship rounds, and warned that if he goes full throttle early without pacing himself, he risks running out of steam before putting Du Plessis away.
Я думаю, что мое личное мнение, я бы Кhamzat посоветовал бы, чтобы он сокрылся. Вот чисто по боксу быстрее, Khamzat лучше. Вот чисто по боксу. Это мое мнение. Просто здесь есть такой момент. Ты можешь сфорсировать события. Раунд, 2. Но если ты его не финишируешь, ты очень много энергии. А потом надо в чемпионских боях. Раунды, да. Хамзат не был в чемпионских рамках. В 5 не был. А этот пацан последний 4 года. Еще до чемпионства, главных боев.
Опыт у него колоссальный.
Да, у него опыт большой, надо учитывать. Просто, когда ты готовишься к такому бою, ты должен рассматривать все сценарии. Ты не можешь, я зайду и кручу. Ты должен смотреть, а если вот так пойдет, а если вот так пойдет, а если вот сюда зайду. Ты должен все сценарии смотреть.
Armand Tsarukyan has thrown his full support behind Khamzat Chimaev. Having trained with Chimaev, Tsarukyan praised the condition and confidence of his teammate leading into the bout. He described Chimaev as dialed in, mentally focused, and physically at his best as he prepares for what may be the toughest test of his career. Tsarukyan's optimism reflects a growing belief among fans and fighters that Chimaev could be the future of the middleweight division. Still, even he acknowledges that Du Plessis is no easy puzzle to solve, and that this showdown is anything but predictable.
Hello everybody, I'm Armand Tsarukyan. We have a training camp with Khamzat Chimaev. He's getting ready for his title fight. He looks sharp, so excited for him and to see him UFC champion. So far his camp going well, he's healthy, he has a lot of energy, and I'm just here to help him whatever they need. If they need the wrestling, I'll wrestle. If they need the striking, I'll strike. So I'm here to help, and I want him to be a UFC champion.
There's no denying that Khamzat Chimaev is one of the most compelling threats in the middleweight division. Even without the non-stop media spotlight that surrounds some of his peers, Chimaev has made his presence felt by dismantling elite opponents with a relentless mix of grappling and striking. His war with Gilbert Burns proved he can go toe-to-toe with elite competition, and his recent victory over former welterweight king Kamaru Usman cemented his reputation as a true force. Now, he's gearing up to take on a completely different kind of challenge in Dricus Du Plessis.
Who you got? Chimaev versus DDP. I've got DDP over Chimaev. I've got Dricus Du Plessis winning. I think Dricus survives round 1 and finishes Chimaev in the later rounds. Dricus has a really good fundamental base in jiu-jitsu and submission grappling, and it's something that not a lot of people know about. Dricus is bigger, stronger, I think more gritty and heart. He has more heart than Whittaker by far. He's tougher, he's more durable. He doesn't have the teeth problems that Whittaker had. So I think he's going to break Chimaev in the later round.
Dricus Du Plessis has had his share of doubters, with many questioning his unconventional style inside the cage. While it might not be the most polished or traditional, it's undeniably effective. He continues to silence critics with big wins, and his recent title defense at UFC 305, where he submitted Israel Adesanya, was a major statement. That performance showed just how dangerous he can be under pressure. Though his striking may look unusual, it gets the job done, and his ability to mix up his attack makes him a serious threat, especially against a dynamic opponent like Chimaev.
And you've got DDP and Khamzat Chimaev. Who emerges from that?
But DDP, man, he is something else. So long we thought he just was bad. He's not. He's really good. He's like really.
If there's one thing all the experts seem to agree on, it's that this matchup is going to be an all-out battle. The big question is whether Du Plessis can survive Chimaev's early storm and take the fight into the later rounds, or if Chimaev will manage to maintain his relentless pace and secure a finish before it reaches the championship rounds. That turning point could very well decide the outcome.
Du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. How do you feel about this fight?
Everybody know I used to work with Khamzat. I love the guy. After COVID, it really messed him up. One of the craziest things I've ever seen. Thrown up like blood. As far as I know now, he's in Russia, he's in camp, he's focused, he's a superstar. He's one of the biggest stars in the UFC.
UFC 319 fast approaching. The middleweight division stands on the brink of a major shift. Will Chimaev's explosive, high-pressure approach be too much? Or can Du Plessis absorb the onslaught and prove why he's the reigning champ? One thing's certain. This bout has all the ingredients of a classic, and fans around the world are counting down the days to see how it plays out in the octagon.